I'm Kurt Shimmers. Every day, fortunes are gained and lost in the financial markets. News, trends, and even geopolitical events shape your financial landscape. Join me and my expert guests right now on Traders Nation. Welcome. You are tuned in to Traders Nation. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Don and I have got a packed show. Peter Fader, he's co-author of the Customer Centricity Playbook. He's going to be with us today. We're going to be talking about how businesses can take a strategic course to maximize the client experience. So we're going to be finding out what's going on out there and help you in your small business and big business, if you will. Plus, Don and I are bringing back towers and data centers. Listen, we bring these back to you and bring some sanity to you in these volatile markets, all right? What's going on out there in these markets? Crazy rides. So we got gas, stocks, and a whole lot more. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Traders Nation, if you promise not to tune out, we promise not to talk about you while you're gone. Traders Nation. Traders Nation. Get Pro Online DVD Trader today. Whether you're an experienced trader or just beginning, you'll improve your skills dramatically. Click on the Knowledge Center button to order your copy today. Traders Nation, delivering what you want when you want it. Traders Nation. Traders Nation. Live.
It's on the whole time.
Bringing traders coverage of the markets, solid trading strategies, potential hot stock movers, world-class guests, informative callers, and unsurpassed market chatter for traders to take all the way to the bank.
You guys got some great stuff coming out. I mean, the great station.
Stay on top.
This is always changing. It's always fresh. Something new.
Stay tuned in. Traders Nation.
It's always something to look forward to.
Clearly, you can hear the difference. Traders Nation. It's the Traders Nation Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Forbes, and you're watching Traders Nation.
You are watching Traders Nation. Yeah, that's right, Don. Huh.
Oh.
Yeah. Don, listen, you know what? We're looking at the markets here today pre-show. And wow. Goodness gracious, down 600, down 350, back up, down 400. My stomach is okay, but some of those folks out there, their stomachs can't take this kind of volatility, Don.
Well, this is certainly not for the faint of heart if you're watching these markets. Yeah. And you're right, we were down almost 650 points. Right now we're down about 430. So you can see the volatility. I mean, my goodness, that's a swing of almost 900 points from the open. So, and a lot of this is driven by last night's news after the market that Apple did not make the number.
Right.
And as a result, the entire markets have tanked here. But, they're coming back. And fortunately for us and our viewer and listeners, the tower and the data center companies have held up reasonably well in this market.
Yeah, they certainly have, Don. So this is the reason why we're going to be talking about towers today. We're going to be talking about data centers today, is because these stocks are positioned in the market, in a market, if you will, in an industry that is kind of not really affected by what's going on in Wall Street. Okay. And for instance, like Don said, Apple last night came out, it's a little bit coming on weak. First time in a long, long time, Don. It's like, the thinking on Apple is that you just don't bet against Apple. You're not contrarian against Apple. But I think those days are waning a little bit, Don. And so that's kind of, yeah.
Apple has lost about $500 billion. Yes, that's T with a T, trillion. Yeah. And the stock is down here today. I believe it hit its 52-week low or close. So that's about $500 million in market cap. Billion, sorry, with a B. Yeah. That the stock has lost, and wow. Yeah. Those are huge numbers.
I tell you, that'll wake you up. Okay, that'll get your attention. So this is the reason why we're going to be focusing on areas that are outside of this. These companies have a solid business. They've got legacy REITs, property. We're talking about towers here today. CCI Crown Castle International currently trading at $107.51. 453,000 shares exchanging hands here today. And these are dividend plays too, Don, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so people are sitting there like, hey, I got dividend coming in on a solid play. All right, so CCI doing some sideways action over the last 6 trading sessions. Been watching it. Trading right now below its 200-day moving average. I like to see it get above that. But, Don, your thoughts on CCI?
Well, Crown Castle is certainly positioned very, very well for 5G. And 5G is about to explode. AT&T is doing test marketing right now. Everybody else is piling into it. And the speeds will be substantially faster than 4G's by about 100 times. So these markets will be rolling out, and all these tower companies will be very well positioned. Of course, CCI, this is a Texas company. They focus solely on the U.S.
Nice.
They pay a nice dividend, and they switched over to the real estate investment trust several years ago.
Okay.
And if you take a look at the 52-week high and low on these stocks, they're in a range that, if you take a look at the markets, they ain't so bad.
That's not so bad, right? Again,
that's right.
Seemingly unaffected by what's going out there in the markets, the turbulence that the markets are seeing. These companies kind of unaffected. They got their gig going on, man.
That's right.
And they're focused. They're focused on down the road. CCI certainly is one of them. AMT, another tower company, American Tower, Alpha Mary Tango, currently trading at $158.27. 385,000 shares exchanging hands on that bad boy today. Holding up these lofty levels, folks, okay? Trading right below its 50-day moving average. Here, saw a dividend just recently on December 26th of 84 cents a share. Holding up from it, quite honestly. Don.
Well, everywhere you turn, you see American Tower being recommended as a buy situation.
Okay.
And we've been following this stock right from the get-go. If you take a look at the 52-week high on this bad boy, it's 168. The stock's trading at 158 in here.
Yeah.
I mean, $10 off on the volatility we've seen in the market.
Yeah,
it's really nothing, and the stock is paying you for your misery.
Yes, that's right. So listen, that's exactly our point. The stock is $10 off its 52-week high, as Don says, unaffected by the volatility in the markets, and it pays a dividend, right? All right, thank you very much. SBAC. Go ahead.
Yep. Well, same thing. SBAC high is 177. Stock trading in here at 163. The low on this bad boy, 148. Another one, very well positioned for 5G. This is a worldwide company, very heavily focused in South America. But this is another one, a real estate investment trust. They switched it several years ago. They own a lot of towers, and the barrier of entry into this business, very difficult. So we're not going to see a lot of tower companies coming out of the woodwork.
That's exactly right. And then here's why, folks, okay? So the barrier of entry, very difficult. You literally have to buy your way into it, almost, okay? Consider the fact that, like railroads, okay? Who's going to start a railroad company? You've got to buy the land, you got to lay track, you got to get your choo-choos over the rails. It's very difficult. It's not going to happen, right? So same thing here. You buy the land, your tower goes up, and you run your lines or whatever, okay? Very difficult. Barrier of entry is very difficult. Big money would take you to get into this space, buy into it most likely, Don. because you're not going to create it from scratch. Some of these companies, legacy companies, have been around forever historically, and they picked up this land years and years ago, decades ago. SBAC, SBA Communications, currently trading at $162.53 here today. It's doing some sideways lateral action, just like AMT, just like CCI. All right, but it's poking its head right above that 200-day moving average here today, and I like that. I like to get this over 200.
Then we have UNIT, UNIT.
Yeah. All right.
And this one, 52-week high around 23, trading in here at around 16.72. Another one that pays a dividend, a high dividend, by the way.
Right.
And this is another company that is positioned for the 5G market.
It is. So if there was any volatility in this space, Unit would be the company, okay?
Yes.
A lower price stock, but that's okay, right? If you need a little action, this may be for you. I don't know. Listen, 403,000 shares exchanging hands here today. Unit trading, like Don said, 680, I think you said, Don. But nice recovery from a drop several weeks ago. Saw a dividend, even though it dropped, saw a dividend of 60 cents there on December 28th, Don, and not affected by it at all in the market. Yeah,
and right now, as we've come on the air here, markets are trading down around 438, so we've stayed at, only 438, but having come off a down of the 633, we've gained back here several hundred points, and maybe we're stabilizing it here at down 400. However, these two areas we're talking about today, the towers and the data centers, stocks are actually holding up pretty well.
Yeah, they certainly are. And Don, you know what, too? And there's a lot of this buzz going around out there, and the pundits, if you will, talking about recession, talking about this, talking about doomsday. I mean, you got to really weed through the weeds. You got to make your way through some of that talking points, okay? Some of it's probably biased, geopolitically biased. And certainly they would love to see some doomsday, so this administration probably, could have egg on their face, certainly. But others, you got to look at it. We've had some discussions here on Traders Nation where guests, kind of are pointing towards. We've got some technical analysis. We got some flattening of some curves that are going on in the bond market, potential recession, the Fed's points are going to be going up. So we're going to keep an eye on all that stuff, all right? So, Don, coming up next, we got Peter Fader. We're going to be talking about the Customer Centricity Playbook, how to keep customers happy, even in a volatile market. On the other side of that, Don, we're going to talk about data centers. We'll shotgun some of those out. How's that sound?
That's fine.
Yes, do that. All right, coming up next, Peter Fader, the Customer Centricity Playbook. Don't want to miss that. Stay tuned.
Traders Nation salutes America. Stay strong, stay proud, and stay in the green with us. Traders Nation live, bold, and packed for profit every weekday morning.
Traders Nation, live, bold, and packed for profit. Sign up today for our weekly HTML newsletter and check out the Traders Nation store for products to enhance your stock trading day. Traders Nation, what you want, when you want it. Traders Nation.
Hey, Jeff Carlisa here from 38 Special, and we're rocking it up right here with Traders Nation.
Welcome back. You are tuned in to Traders Nation. My pleasure to have with us here today co-author Peter Fader, the Customer Centricity Playbook, implement a winning strategy driven by customer lifetime value. Peter, welcome to Traders Nation. How are you today?
Great to talk to you, Kurt. Looking forward to it.
Nice. So what brought you to write the Customer Centricity Playbook, Peter?
I'll tell you what, it was a lot of frustration that as a professor here at the Wharton School, been developing all kinds of models and associated managerial frameworks to help companies better understand their customers, make more money in the process. And a lot of companies out there are just not thinking about things this way, too focused on the product instead of the customer. So trying to put an alternative perspective out there.
Nice. So basically, this certainly is focused around the customer service, customer loyalty, right? And trying to get that customer to come back in, right?
That's right, but the difference is it's a question of which customers, and not all customers are created equal. They're not all born to have great relationships with you, and so it's kind of your responsibility as a business, not just a retailer. I'm talking B2B, any kind of business at all, to understand who the right customers are, the ones with high lifetime value, and build your business around them instead of just trying to kind of cast a broad net and sell to anyone who's willing to buy.
Yeah, great point, because there are different levels of customers, aren't there? I mean, there's customers, reasonable, loyal, that make up a lot of ideal values as when it comes to customers, versus others are, professional consumers, maybe not so loyal. They just as soon go across the street if they're going to save 2 cents. I mean, how do we break these down, Peter?
That is the challenge, and that's also the opportunity. In the old days, it was impossible to tell the difference. There was no way to tag and track customers. The best we could do would be to use demographics. But today, through all the different kinds of technologies we have, whether it's mobile apps or loyalty programs or lots of other mechanisms, we can tell who's buying what when. And we can project how much they're likely to spend with us in the future and say, you know what, we got these really good customers over here. How do we really build on that relationship and find more like them?
Right.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, so like years ago, very difficult to gauge a customer because that was like static, wasn't it? It was like 1.0. Now, like you said, we're getting into apps. More data is becoming available to us as business owners. We can really get into the fineness of what makes customers move, what makes them buy, what makes them not buy. So technology has really brought this information to business owners in the forefront, hasn't it?
It has, but the problem is, a lot of business owners are saying, okay, let's use all that data, let's use all that technology just to sell more products. And I'm saying that's the wrong way to look at it. We should be using the data and the technology to figure out who are the right customers, and then use that to determine what are the kinds of products that we should be selling. I want to flip it around completely. And, it's early, but we're finding a lot of really good success.
Well, I want to touch on this because it's said that it costs a business 8 times more money to get a new client than it is to keep one, right? So, we need that information on our customer loyalty and on what makes them come back, don't we?
But you know what? And I hate that expression. Because even though it's true, even though there's no doubt it does cost more to acquire than to retain, that's the wrong way to look at business. You shouldn't be running your business on the basis of minimizing costs. You should be running your business on the basis of maximizing value. So it's true that you have these customers around here. It's real easy to hold on to them. But if they're not that valuable, then maybe you're better off going fishing and spending that money and going out there to find customers. It might be expensive to get them, but they might be 10 times more valuable once you've acquired them.
That's exactly
right. So let's not just run it on the basis of minimizing cost.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and I think that's an absolute valid point, because for long term, for any businesses, that valuable customer, that you can get back in, is actually exactly where these businesses need to be. All right, so what critical tools, because there's a lot of data out there, Peter, I mean, what critical tools should these business owners be using to bring this data in, extrapolate it, and figure out where they need to be when it comes to their clients and customers?
Top of the list is this notion of customer lifetime value.
Yeah.
That we can look at your past purchasing history. You know, what have you bought from us? How often? How much did you spend? And we can project ahead to say, how many transactions are you going to make? How long are you going to stay with us? And how much are you going to spend moving ahead? And to kind of add all that up and say, this is the projected value that you're going to bring to the firm in the future, as opposed to what you've brought to us in the past.
Yeah.
Customer lifetime value is the key to the whole thing.
Yeah, but as far as the tools are concerned, and I think that's great, but some of these business owners, they're not savvy in this area. You know, they may not be savvy. They're not data crunchers, okay?
So that's my job. My job is to not only come up with the methods as a professor, but then to kind of get them out there. So, for instance, I founded a company called Zodiac that was working with a number of different companies, B2B, B2C, products, services, large and small, to give them that lifetime value magic wand, to basically say, here is the value of your customers, and then here's different ways to leverage it. And then a few months ago, we sold the company to Nike. It was a really great validation of our ability to do these kinds of calculations and to get companies to actually pay attention and use them.
Right, because business owners don't have a lot of time to try to figure out that data. And are you saying that Zodiac would be a great way for these companies, small business owners, to go leverage that technology to further their customer client experience?
That was the objective. For me, it was about spreading the gospel. As I said, Nike bought the company, so now that one's out of commission now. But I continue to try to put these methods out there, whether it's putting out spreadsheets and videos and code, as well as different case studies, because if you could believe in the CLV, the customer lifetime value magic wand, it really will get you to run your business differently, to really think about who the right customers are as opposed to what is the right product.
Right. And what do you see? We're past 2018, certainly into 2019, but what do you see going forward is most critical for businesses? Certainly the customer retention is part of that. You're saying, you know, products are fine, but customer retention is better, knowing your customer. Do you see that going forward here in 2019 and remaining on top of the list for businesses to stay focused on? Is that client experience?
Yes, indeed. And I'm even going to the next step. So the really cool thing that I'm working on these days is the idea of customer-based corporate valuation. That if we can figure out the value of each one of our customers and add all that stuff up, that's going to give us a better idea of the overall value of the enterprise rather than the usual kinds of top-down practices that companies will be looking at. So customer-based corporate valuation, and it's been an amazing way to not only improve our understanding of the value of the business, but to build a better connection between the folks in finance and the folks in marketing.
Well, listen, if we could just gather those types of clients up in a net and put them aside. The ideal thing here is to try to figure out how can we garner more of those types of clients. Where did we get them, and how can we garner more? Would you agree with that?
That is it, and that's exactly what the new book is all about, the Consumer Centricity Playbook. This idea that sometimes we want to kind of fish for customers very broadly. We just want to bring a bunch of people in. The business is so young, and we haven't figured out who the right ones are. Right. But at some point, we want to start getting a little bit more fine about it. We want to start fishing with spears instead of nets. We know who the right customers are. We're willing to kind of extend ourselves if we can get those kinds of customers. Figuring out that balance about how to engage in those different kinds of activities and you know how much money to allocate to one versus another. That's the new way to build a business, as opposed to just obsessing over version 3.0 of the product.
That's right. All right, we're out of time here today. Where can we get a copy of the Customer Centricity Playbook today, Peter?
Well, Amazon.com is a good place to start, and I hope that people will take a look.
Awesome. Head on over to Amazon.com, even your local bookstore, folks. Okay, the guy in the corner needs your business too. The Customer Centricity Playbook. Peter Fader, thanks for your time today. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Good talking to you.
You bet. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The king may rule over land and sea. The Lord may live right royally. The soldier ride in pomp and pride. The sailor roam over ocean wide. But this or that, whatever befall, the farmer, he must feed them all. The writer thinks, the poet sings, the craftsman fashion wondrous things. The doctor heals, the lawyer pleads, the miner follows, the precious leads. But this or that, whatever befall, the farmer, he must feed them all. God bless the man who sows the wheat, who finds us milk and fruit and meat. May his purse be heavy, his heart be light, his cattle and corn and all go right. God bless the seeds his hands let fall. For the farmer, he must feed us all.
Welcome back. You are tuned in to Traders Nation. Hey, Don, before we get back into stocks, let everyone know about Pro Online Trader DVD. Get a copy today, $29.95 plus shipping and handling. Learn how to short stocks, candlesticks, charts, support, resistance, all that good stuff. If anything we're saying is Greek to you, man, you need a copy of this. Click on that More button, tradersnation.com, Don. Don, we want to talk about data centers, DLR, that's Digital Realty Trust, COR, Quartzsite Realty, and EQIX. What's going on here?
Well, once again, just the 52-week high and lows on these stocks. Actually, of course, but these are all well-positioned companies in the data center business. They're REITs. They pay instances is very handsome, and they're in a business that's growing in leaps and bounds. And we have a thing in the business called hyperscale data centers, and those are for the really large clients. So these companies are all in it, and very well positioned data centers.
Yeah, place to be. Very safe. Nothing but a growth industry. Don, everything's going to data.
That's right.
You got backups, and then you got backups of backups. You got redundancy like crazy, all going to data. All right?
That's right.
Don, do you own anything we talked about today?
No, none.
Yeah, I don't either. All right, you need to know that. Check out Don. Go over all the social media places. Check out, get engaged, like, share, all that good stuff. Thanks for tuning in to Traders Nation today. We appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next edition of Traders Nation. Have a great day.